What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. I hope you're all doing really well. Now, I'm joined by the Magpie Channel. How are you doing, Matty?
Buongiorno, mate. Very good. How are you?
He's a classic YouTuber. Go and subscribe to him. He's got 498 subscribers. Please go along and get him to that 500 subscriber mark. He's a very good YouTuber. He goes along the ground. He does a lot of, not just podcasts, but he does a lot of fan cams as well. And, we've had a really good podcast tonight, so it'll be up in the next day or two.
It'll be up tonight, mate. I'll try and get it up tonight.
It'll be up tonight, so go and check it out. Now, we're going to talk about a few topics, Matty. We're going to talk about the season. Now, let's just touch upon the Man United game on Sunday. Newcastle won by a goal to nil. Unexpected, in my opinion. Now, sum up that game for us, mate.
Well, it's unexpected from my point of view as well, mate. I mean, I said 2-1. We heart said 2-1 Newcastle. We head said 2-1 Man United. I didn't think we were going to get hammered. A lot of people were saying, we're going to get 3-4. Seeing that, when I seen the lineup, I thought, oh, bollocks. When I seen, especially, the likes of Martial, Sanchez, Pogba, it was a bit scary, wasn't it? But I think Rafa had a game plan, as he always does. And the main thing was that in a game plan against the big clubs, everybody's got to pull the weight and everybody give 110%. And for the first time in a long time, for Newcastle, I was proud of everyone that went off that pitch, and everyone deserved to wear the black and white shirt, which you haven't said in a while. I mean, you look at Joby a few months ago, didn't deserve to be anywhere near the ground, didn't deserve for a pint of strawberry. never mind to be on the same team as the pitch.
That's true.
But I'd buy him. Mohammed, come down, I'll buy you a pint any day of the week. Because amazing, again, for quite a few games in a row now, he's just a changed man. And Shelby shows what he can do on his day. One lucky with the decisions with the referee. Should have had a penalty in the first half. I think the main thing was Man United did have chances, but the players put their bodies on the line.
That's it. It's fight, isn't it? And we showed a lot of fight in that game. And you've only got to look at our previous games at home that we've played. We haven't won since October, and to play a team that's got some quality, like you say, Man United, the second in the Premier League. And Mourinho said some nice things, whether or not that was his game plan to try and get the result at St James's Park. That remains to be seen. But again, he hasn't won at St James's Park, and I think looking at that game, we had Dubravka, the debutant, the goalkeeper. Now, we're touching upon how a lot of fans could easily have got on his back, and he's playing against a big club at St James's Park, and what a debut, what to remember, and he's only going to kick on from now, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. He's got to be full of confidence now. I think you could see it throughout that game. Once he'd saved the one-on-one with Martial, he just seemed to lift himself up, and even corners, he just grew confidence in the stands. But most importantly, into his defence, the way he was collecting the ball, and no fear in such a big opposition. He's playing the Czech League. Yes, he's played a few internationals. I remember I seen him play against Scotland. He did well. Again, that's not much of a challenge, is it?
No.
But to come up against the best players in the world, like Sanchez and Pogba, apparently. You couldn't ask any more from him. He did everything and beyond, and Rafa obviously sees something in him, and he repaid that.
No, you're right. I mean, you go into that game and you think, I was good that he didn't play against Crystal Palace because we're just signing, but I can see why he hasn't chosen now. Rafa Benitez must see something in him, because again, we don't know too much about him. I only know Dubravka from playing in a couple of European games. That's all I know. I'd be lying to say, I've seen him play every game. I look at him and I think he's got a good all-round attitude. He really wants to play. He's looked at Newcastle and thought, this is a massive club, this is a massive challenge for me. And Rafa Benitez wants a keeper that can play with his feet. He can kick a ball, he can distribute a ball, and we've seen that against Man United, and he's got confidence. And I think we need that with the team that we've got. We need someone who, with a bit of confidence, he can push Newcastle on. And when you've got a good keeper and a good back four, with the team that we have, that's what you need.
Definitely. I mean, it's got to start from the back, and you've seen it with the likes of Pep at Man City investing so much money into Edison, because he feels like his distribution and confidence can help the rest of the team, and that's where it builds from. And if you look at Newcastle, if you have Dubravka, Lascelles, and then at the moment Diarmi or Shelby, because of how well they're playing, and then you still need that striker. But if you build in the big Spain, that's where it's always going to start in football for me. Tough Spain. You look at title-winning teams, and that's where it is. You look at one of the best teams ever for me is the Man United in the 90s. And you have your Schmeichel, and then it goes up and it goes to Roy Keane, and they've replaced the top loads, Van Nistelrooy, various players, but they've always got that strength. Even the Invincibles team, Arsenal, and why they haven't been so good for so long is because they didn't have the likes of Cameron and Guerra. They joined Henry, so David Seaman at the back. So it's very important that you have a good keeper in there. And for me, even in January, I was thinking we don't need a keeper that much, because I quite like Darlow, I quite like Ali. I think you know what you're going to get. They're quite sturdy and reliable. But then when Dubravka's came in there, and you see his distribution, you see again the confidence it brings the rest of the team. It's not just shot stopping; it's everything. He seems like the all-round package, and it seems like it could be a bargain.
I think as well, because he came in for Dubravka a couple of times, and I think especially the Burnley game, the goal that he conceded, I think for me was very, it was unnecessary. You could have done a lot better in the way the ball went in. You could have dealt with that a lot better, and he's thought, right, that's it, that's the last. And with Darlow and Elliott, he's always rotated them, so he's never really had a steady keeper, and he's always wanted a foreign keeper, I feel like, someone who's going to do a better job. And you look at Matt Lascelles, who's out on loan at the moment, he's obviously not going to go back in. I think when he comes back in the summer, he will be sold, and I think, like you say, you need someone who with a bit of confidence, a bit of know-how, and that's what led to our victory, because the attitude was there. The players were performing, and when you got confidence at the back, hopefully that should help the forwards. And for Matt Ritchie's goal as well, I mean, what a finish. What a bit of build-up play as well, from Jojo Shelby.
Great build-up. Nice to see we awarded the free kicks. At first it looked like it had been getting there Shelby, but it was actually the small and dive.
The referee got that spot on mind.
So that was a great decision, unlike the penalty, we first off. But Shelby, great ball in. We're lucky Pogba's too busy doing his hair, because Lejeune gets in there, flicks it on, lovely little back heel by Gale, and then Richie's one-on-one, and in that moment, the pressure's on.
The flick.
But he just does really well, as I said, to put it to De Gea's side, because De Gea's thinking he's going to smash this straight down his left foot, but he kills it into the opposite corner. De Gea's already shifted a little bit to his opposite side, so he's took the weight off, making it more difficult to get a hand to Richie's shot. And it's just an amazing moment, and just to see everyone celebrating, the fans, and it was just like, it was thoroughly deserved.
We played really well, and we turned up on a big occasion, and a lot of those media outlets out there would have put Newcastle down, we're just going to bottle it. But I think we've showed in this game that we can't beat anybody in the Premier League, and that's the most frustrating thing. You look at the games that we've lost at home. Cause it's all back to the wall. We won the game in the end. We've lost against the likes of Watford, Bournemouth. If we could beat Man United, why can't we beat the teams in and around at home? And that's where Achilles heel, isn't it?
That's what frustrates you, because we've shown what we're capable of. Like, if only you could do that, like when Huddersfield and West Brom come up here towards the end of the season, huge games, Southampton.
They must win. We've got to win.
Those are the ones where the lads have got to envisage it being a huge game like in Manchester United. Just imagine the Sky cameras there, and imagine you playing against world class players. Because if they don't, they get sloppy, and then I think teams like West Brom that will come up here and get the fans in the back, and they know the way it can go. So just got to go into that game, every game like that, because now that we've won against Man United, it does show we can't beat anyone. And the players have got to, surely, that's got to propel them for the rest of the season, thinking like, right, we'll beat Man United at Huddersfield today. Let's give it the same, and if we give it the same, then we're going to get the same result.
It shows that we can't cope under pressure, because at the start of the game, we jumped into the relegation zone after Huddersfield got a win against Bournemouth, and we showed that we can deal with the pressure, and we got out the relegation zone. We're currently sitting 13th in the Premier League with 28 points, and it's good, but we need to back it up. And how many times this season, if Newcastle won a game and the fans have got all hyped up, and all of a sudden we've been put back to reality.
I hate to say it, but I remember the season we went down in McLaren, and we had the same. We went to Spurs away in one, and we
beat Liverpool 2-0 at home.
Liverpool at home. There was like 3 or 4 games where we picked up massive results, and I think, we're going to be safe. Let's just hope it doesn't happen again. Because again, we went into games against other teams where we should have won, beat the big boys, and get nothing against them.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, we're 13th in the league now. Our next game's against Bournemouth. Obviously we've got the FA Cup break, so obviously we're not in it anymore. Shame. I am a one for a cup run, but again, it's Chelsea. There's not a great deal we can do with their quality. But what's your thoughts going into Bournemouth next Saturday? Because we all know that's going to be a tough game, isn't it?
I think it's a big shame that there's a break. It's not what you want after a game like that. You want to carry the momentum. So it's disappointing that there's a break. Like you say, it was Chelsea in the cup. We can't do nothing about that. So going into Bournemouth, the lads have just got to carry on what they did against Man United. Basically, it's a tight game. Bournemouth were balls deep in trouble. Then they got themselves out after a few good results. You mentioned they've just been hammering off Huddersfield 4-1. So the lads have got to look at the last 2 results. I just say, look at what Huddersfield done. Look at what we did. That's what we need to do in the next game. Carry it in. I think we'll get the points against Bournemouth. I fancy we've been better away from home. I was taking a place since being away from home. So I think we'll nick a 2-1 against Bournemouth, and that'll be huge. I think you're right. Yeah, I've gone 2-1 as well. I think we've just got to show the same attitude that we showed against Man United. But like I keep saying for Newcastle, we seem to screw up a lot in these games away from home. If we can't win the game, at least get a draw. A point away to Bournemouth, how far we've got to travel is not the worst result in the world. Absolutely not.
Because what's disappointing this season is the home performances, and I think if you want to stay in the Premier League, you're bread and butter is to win your home games.
So to make the fortress, haven't you?
You don't want to go down with regret that we lost against the likes of Huddersfield, West Brom, teams like that. And I think 13th in the league, it's decent, but at the same time, it's tight.
We know how close it is, because like you said, before that game, we were in the relegation zone, and just imagine how stinky it would have been that break if we were in the relegation zone. but thankfully we're not. We are 13th. It sounds better than it looks because of how tight it is. But if we beat Bournemouth, who I think are 10th, and that closes the gap, puts more pressure on it, drags them back into it and pulls us out a bit more. And hopefully, results go our way, which they never do. Never ever do. But we're kind of focused now. We've got to focus on ourselves and just carry the momentum into the Bournemouth game.
So what's your thoughts going into Bournemouth? Let us know down below in the comments. Now that we've beaten Man United, what's your hopes of Newcastle staying up this season? Because we've shown that we can beat anybody at any given time, and there was a lot of nervousness going into the Man United game. I was one of them. Like I say, I went 2-0 Man United. I said that in the preview, and I even mentioned it in the review. Now the fact we're beating them and we'll lose at Bournemouth, that we should go there and get a result. What's your overall feelings of staying up? Are you confident, or do you think it's going to go to the wire? Or
I think we'll stay up. It has got survival Sunday written all over it.
Chelsea,
it's got a 6-screen split because it's that tight down the bottom. There's going to be that many matches on where people can go down. But I'd fancy to get the. If we did need it, I'd fancy with Chelsea at home last game of the season to get something. Because we've got a good record against them against these teams, isn't? Conte is he out the door? Is he not? There's problems at that club as well. The players aren't really performing like they go for them spells and they don't seem to be giving their all. But not going to the last game of the season just yet. I think there's worse teams than we.
Where do you think we'll finish?
Basically, I think we'll finish about 16th or 15th. I think West Brom are already down.
Yeah, they're very poor this season.
Which is good to see Paul Giancarlo back.
Still as well, I'm glad we've dodged the bullet there.
Now he went off injured after 2 minutes.
We've dodged the bullet on that one.
So if he stays injured, that's West Brom definitely down, but I think they're 7 points off, so I think they are down anyway. I think Stoke will go down. I said that as soon as they appointed Paul Lambert, Championship manager. That was a really underwhelming appointment. So it is up for battle, 18th place. And I think it'll be, I would probably say Southampton at the minute.
Huddersfield, you've got to give Huddersfield credit because they're going into the Premier League as well with not a massive budget.
Squad.
And again, it's a bit like Blackpool. It's their first season in the Premier League, and they are starting to drop a little bit on them.
But then obviously they had a huge run of Bournemouth when they were dropping. I don't think they've won all yet. I don't think they've won for quite a while, just like us. At home, anyways, they hadn't scored a goal, and I think it was a good few games. So they had the character and fighting spirit, though. Like, it was a good reference, actually, Blackpool, where teams that have to come up, they know they don't belong, so they've got a point to prove that they want to belong. And I think they're doing the same as Blackpool, where they'll probably still for a season. They won't really invest because they haven't really got the money, and then they'll probably go down again. Obviously, the TV money could be huge, but I think it will be between Huddersfield and Southampton, because I think Southampton haven't got enough going forward, and the defence is a bit sloppy. Not too sure about the manager that they appointed. They seem to have the attitude of when we went down, where the first time round in 2009, when they've got players who aren't really lost, they're not really bothered about playing for them, whereas Huddersfield haven't got the quality, but they have got the fighting spirit.
No, I think you're right about Southampton. I mean, it's a bit like Newcastle events. We ripped our team up. We had like Kabay, Demabar, Cisse. We lost a lot of those good players, and then obviously Steve McLaren. Again, he's an over manager, he couldn't manage himself. But if you lose all your best players, you're going to go down the league. We've gone from finishing 5th, to where we could have finished the top 10 comfortable. Yeah. To be mid-table and going down. I think Southampton have followed that trend again. There's only so long.
Selling club as well.
There's only so long you can sell your best players for, and I think you're right. I think Southampton could follow us.
Well, look at
from last season going down.
South Van Dijk for 70 odd million, didn't invest it.
It's silly because that's a lot of money to use. To get a centre back, and then again you talk about managers as well. We got likes of Carver, we've got the likes of Steve McLaren, and not the right appointments. And I said it from the start. Steve McLaren was never the right appointment, and I knew the minute we got him through the door that exactly. And it told. And I've gone for a mid-table finish. I know it sounds a bit. I don't know. I was going to say diluted, but I think because it's so tight now in the bottom 10, I think even any sort of result on the last day, you could finish like 12 or something. Because
it will be like that. It will be like that. You can imagine how I'm seeing about the split screen when they're showing several matches at once. 1 minute you could be 0-0 against Chelsea. I don't know, Huddersfield are winning, whoever they're playing, and you could be like, Newcastle sitting in 18th, then Newcastle get a goal and Huddersfield draw, and then it'll be like Newcastle up to 14th. I think it will. I think you're right. I think it will be something like that.
Because they say like 6 teams, it's probably about 5 or 6 teams that tend to go down, don't they? That you could battle, but I think this season you could look about 8 or 9 teams.
Absolutely,
that's crazy.
Amazing. I did my relegation predictor, like a daft little chronicle game that they had on, where you fill in the results of us and every team around me, and I ended up pretty good, probably optimistically with like 47 points. I think it was. I finished in like 11th place. Don't think it'll be that good. I don't know how I got with that.
I've got 12, so that's not bad.
I don't know how it's that good. I think it's just because a lot of the teams like West Brom and Southampton play each other, and obviously we have to play them as well. So I think we'll pick up the points. And then how we get beat against tricky away trips to Liverpool, Everton, Spurs, but how we win the games at home against the other teams, and then win at home against Chelsea. And I think that was it. And when the other teams were playing each other, you can see Bordeaux's knocking about, like the likes of Southampton, West Brom, and even we haven't touched on Brighton are obviously there and thereabouts.
Yeah, because he's done a great job.
Yeah, huge respect for Presume, big fan, should never have got the sack. He's working wonders with what is the Championship side as well. So, no doubt, they'll be there, and it is a battle for 18th place.
No, I think you're right. Again, leave me your thoughts on who's going down, and, you know, are you confident now Newcastle stayed up after the Man United result? Leave your comments down below. Now, Jamaal Lascelles, it's been a hot topic. England, do you see Jamaal Lascelles going to the World Cup, or do you think it's a bit too early?
I've got a feeling he might go now, because I think, you know, we touched on it. There's not many performance centre-backs at the minute. It used to be one of the positions for England where it was like, impossible to break there. It was like centre-back, wasn't it? You couldn't get in.
Yeah.
But yes, but now, you know, we've said Michael Keane, big money price tag, done nothing since he went Everton.
No.
Jones and Smalling, who were on the pitch against us.
Embarrassing against
us. You'd rather have Lascelles there. Gary Cahill at Chelsea, had a poor season. So why not? Would be my question. I mean, the FA don't like seeming going past Manchester. They don't like coming up north. But you know, Southgate's got to realise at a poor side, which it is in Newcastle, and he led up through the Championship, got promoted, and it's his character as well, his leadership skills, mindset. You know, he can rally the dressing room. But he's been a class performer as well, and a class defender, not only at the back, but also going forward. He's also getting goals.
I think you're right. I mean, if Gareth Southgate's going to live by his name now, you know, he's from the area when you think about it. He's managed Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's got a good connection. He's a manager where when he got appointed, they were like, it's important that we develop young players and we try and get them to be the future of England. And if he's going to live by his name and by his passion now, I think Jamaal Lascelles, if he performs in Newcastle still this season, I don't see why he hasn't got damn right not to go to the World Cup. I think even if I'm not expecting to start, if he at least makes the bench, I think, you know, that's the best you can do.
He can at least make the squad, and like you say, you know, his character is what you want. People like him is what you want. You just remember whether he's a starter or not. But I think it might depend on whether we stay up. Whether he looks at that, you know, will he take what would then be a Championship player? He's got to at least go to the friendlies next month.
Yeah, you talk about the friendlies because at the end of March, you know, we'll play Italy, then we'll also play Brazil, which I think it's Brazil. But anyway,
maybe Netherlands.
Do you think Gareth Southgate is going to start? I think that you've got to give him an opportunity.
I think why not? I mean, it's a friendly. It's nothing to lose. It's the time to experiment and try and get a squad together before the World Cup. And again, the defenders that are available aren't doing any better than he is.
No, I think you're right. I mean, I look at the England team and I think, apart from the forwards, I think the midfield. I think a lot of them have been very poor this season in the Premier League. The back four has been poor, and you look at the goalkeeping situation as well. And now you look at that Nick Pope for Burnley, he's got a chance, you know.
Well, yeah, because I mean, at the point it was like it used to be Joe Hart, and then Butland was doing well, he couldn't get in. But them two, you know, Hart's not getting a game. Butland's in a relegation battle, second worst team in the league. So I mean, like, it is. You're right. It is only the forwards. It is only, you know,
that's it.
Ali Kane, Sterling. They're the only players that are doing well, because you've said centre mid, like Jordan Henderson, how on earth he's Liverpool captain, I'll never know. I mean, I remember in November when Shelby had a good start of the season, it was the question between themselves and Shelby, wasn't it? But I think so if Shelby could play week in, week out like he does against Man United, then he could get in the squad as well, but it's probably a little bit too late now, and obviously the temperament issues.
Again, yeah, you talk about the temperament issues with Shelby. I think it's his consistency as well. You know, he'll have one good game and then he'll not do so well. And if he's performing for Newcastle week in, week out, then yeah, he deserves a job. But I think on this one, I don't think he deserves it. I think, you know, there's probably players in there for him. But in terms of Jamaal Lascelles, I would, you know, at least give him a run out in the friendlies, and then if he does well, Newcastle stay up. I think it's a fair shout, even just to have him on the plane, just to see, you know, there's a Newcastle player.
Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Because I mean, it's been a while since you said.
And Andy Carroll's the last one.
Aye, when you go back to when obviously Shearer's out week in, week out, one of the best players in captain, and you know, he's a joy. You obviously you don't want injuries not to happen. That was one of the things when Pete used to ask me, do you want Lascelles? And I was like, oh nah, because you're not getting injured in national duty. That's not what you want. Because imagine if he went to the friendlies next week.
That's the worst thing you could possibly.
Went missing for Newcastle in the last 5-7 games, the most crucial part of the season. That's not what you want. That's the kind of look we've got.
We've got a Finbet team as well, so we don't really want to be losing any players, especially Jamaal Lascelles, your captain. You know,
imagine goals. Nightmare that would be. But at the same time, you know, the lad deserves it. I've got huge respect for the guy, so I'd like to see him there, and he deserves it. And yeah, it would be nice when you see on the team playing, and when you see on the sheets, you know, you watch the World Cup in the summer on BBC 90, it'll have like the players, so it'll be Lascelles, and it'll say underneath Newcastle United. That's what you want to see, and you want to be world renowned.
Yeah, so we're all for Jamaal Lascelles, to be given a chance, in the friendlies and hopefully a chance to go to the World Cup. Leave me your comments down below. Should he or should he not go to the World Cup? And let us know. Now, the big topic, obviously today or tomorrow, as you probably see this, Paul Dummett has signed a contract extension at Newcastle. Now, I think it's a welcome, contract extension, and the fans, especially the fans I've heard, they're happy with committing his future at Newcastle. And I think it's the right move by the club.
Absolutely. I mean, we've said about Lascelles to England, you want a Geordie in Newcastle. You want a local lad playing for his local team. That's what you want to see, because his passion in the dressing room, that'll progress onto the pitch, and you can see how much it means to him, and that can only have a positive effect on the squad. And not only that though, not only whether he's from here or not, he deserves the recent contract extension because of how well he's been since he came back from injury, and how important he's been to the team, and keeping clean sheets. And Rafa said, you know what you're going to get with him. You know what he brings to the side. He's not the best going forward, but it's good to have that solidarity there. And I think he's done really well in the past month or so. Yeah,
he's had a lot of criticism because obviously he doesn't get forward enough. And I think, to be honest with you, he's more centre back. I'd rather see him, maybe play more central role, but he's good at what he does. And I think, if we're not conceding goals, which I think is important, we don't concede goals. Rafa Benitez has built a platform in the back, and that's what we need. And, you got Jamaal Lascelles there, the talker. You got Paul Dummett there, and with communication, that's what you need. Obviously, you've got Lejeune, and then you've got Kieran Clark. That remains to be seen who he wants to play alongside Jamaal Lascelles. But I think overall, that's what Rafa's trying to do, and with him signing a new contract, it shows that he's building from the back with a very thin, bare team, with a squad that doesn't really invest heavily on players.
Yeah, like you say, you don't want to lose him. The squad's thin enough as it is, but I was saying, even if we do bring in, a quality left back somehow, God hope we'll get taken over and there was investment there. Rafa's wanted full-backs. So if we did get a left back in, it would be good to see, Dummett's still there. Dummett's still there as a utility player, squad player for Cubs. You said he's a good centre-back, filling in as an injury. He's definitely a worthwhile asset overall.
No, I think you're right. I think, again, he's a local lad. He's got a good all-round attitude. That's what we want at this football club. We want to have players who we can identify with. And, you look at Jamaal Lascelles, it just goes to show that we're building something, and that's what you want. And I hope with, the potential takeover, which obviously hasn't happened all of a sudden. Let's just talk about the transfer talk and the players that were signed there. Let's talk about Kennedy, Slimani, and Dubravka. Now, are you happy with that?
I'm happy in the sense that because I thought it was going to be another winner, we'll get no one. Basically, I thought Rafa had put his list in on January 1st. It went all quiet. 2 weeks gone, then we got Kennedy on loan, and then it went all quiet when you were crying out for a striker because game after game we're dropping points, missing chances. So I'm quite happy with it because it was key areas, especially obviously. We don't know what Slimani's yet. Like you said, he was great at Sporting Lisbon. He was
injured at the moment, but he'll be back against.
He was a hot topic. He was a big prospect. He was a target for a lot of big clubs across Europe. And I think he went to Leicester, which was a bit surprising because I think he must have just seen them win the league. And he was like, "Oh, champions are after us. I'll go there," because big price tag as well, 28 million. And he went to Leicester, and that was a great signing for them at the time. But their style of play didn't really suit him. He's had the odd injury. He's obviously got to be better than Oslo. So I'm happy.
Can't be any worse.
Nah, I'm happy with him. He's renowned for his bullet headers. I think he can bring a lot to the side. I am looking forward to seeing him play, hopefully against Bournemouth. And Kennedy's been classes since he came in, hasn't he?
You don't believe it. I mean, he's added quality going forward, and you look at him, and he kind of gives him that little bit more freedom on the wing as well. And he's been playing him a lot on the wings. And when I watch him play, like he's confident, and we need someone who's confident. He's a young lad, and again, obviously he belongs to Chelsea, but if he adds that quality where, we're going to create opportunities and we're going to score goals, and that's what
been at that attitude, because it's hard to bring to Chelsea's team, hopefully we can get him on a permanent deal. They might not let him go now after how well he's been doing in the Premier League in these first few games. It's nice to see a player with a bit of flair, which we haven't had since like Benalfa.
Yeah, he plays with freedom. That's what you want. You want someone who's going to hit the nail on the head and play the game out, should play, and that's what Rafa Benitez wants from Kennedy, to get regular game time, to show what he's really about. And I hope that if he does play well, and he plays well over the course of the season, that we're still, he decides to want to stay, and we could build around him on the wing and maybe midfield, have a look at the midfield. And I don't know what your thoughts are of Kennedy, whether or not, if we do stay, that you'd want him to stay. Obviously, again, he's Chelsea's player, but I think, you look at Chelsea's team, they've got too much quality.
There's loads there, Chelsea are renowned for sending players across the world, mainly the Dutch league, and Vitesse seems to be Chelsea B team. So they've got loads of players. I would love to see him play, yeah, of course. I'd love to see him stay if he carries on the way he's been going. Like I say, he's got that flair, he's got that attacking capability that we're missing at the start of the season. We were crying out for someone out in the wing to take on someone with the ball in. Atsu gives it now and again. We're hoping it from Murphy. Definitely Ray Kennedy though, and obviously he's got something there. You don't sign for Chelsea if you haven't got something there, you know. And how amazing he was against Palace.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, it was just that ball in the second half in the 47th minute. If he maybe squared it across and we could have went 2-0 up. But it's all ifs and buts. He's going to learn,
isn't he? Yeah,
he's going to learn.
And you know, you said would he stay? I think he might. He seems to be really taken to the area. You know, he seems dead happy here. He always seems buzzing. He realises it's a privilege to be at the club
as well. You know, these players. That's what you want. Someone who. I know it's easy to say, oh, you know, I love the club and whatnot, but
yeah, you hear a lot.
But genuine,
I think you can see when it's genuine. You can see when it's like the agent talk. Like, right, you've got to see this. This seems like it's actually like meaningful, which is what you want, because again, it goes back to the likes of Dummett, where you know they're playing for the club because they want to play for the club, they care about the club, and it's hard to get that with foreigners. But I think Kennedy's kind of appreciating the chances being given since he's been out the cold at Chelsea. He's grabbing it with both hands so far, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I think he's right. Now, again, the free silence. What do you think of them? Leave your comments down below. Is there anything else you want to add in terms of this little short video? I know you're on YouTube. You know you're called the Magpie Channel. Tell me, channel, a bit about yourself and you know what to expect.
Hi guys, so basically it's Newcastle TV for the fans. You know, views from the fans for the fans. You can find me, I would say 9 bar every home game. Feel free to come along. I'm here for everyone to get involved. You know, if I'm doing an interview, just hang around. Have a word in the cameraman's yard, try and get on, you know, I'll get you on it. I'll let you get everyone's views, you know, I'll stand out there for as long as possible, because that's the premise of the channel, is to get, you know, views from the fans.
That's important.
Fans talk, and then I do these weekly podcasts with guests, or maybe something by myself or with friends, just to talk about what's going on at the club really. So just tune in for everything NUFC, like what Charlie does, yeah, but mainly, you know, mine's from the fans. It's not just me, it's used to get involved as well. So yeah, check out the videos, see the fan TV, see people's reactions after the games, and feel free to get involved.
Yeah, I think he's right. So go along and check out his channel. I think he's got something like 498 subscribers.
Yeah, touching the 500 mark.
Go and get him along to that.
A couple of months, so long, you know, keep on pushing.
Yeah, go and get him along to the 500 subscriber mark. He's a very good YouTuber. He's a sound lad. Again, he's for the fans. You know, he's like us. And you know, if you want regular Newcastle United content, go and check out this guy. He's brilliant, absolutely fantastic. And again, you know, I've been part of his podcast that I'll be up later on tonight. And you know, we want to try and get him onto that 1,000 mark just like I am. I know how hard it is, you know, for the adventure that I was on. You know, again, we're only small YouTubers, but you know, we do it for the love of the club. And again, Matty, just like myself, he does it for the love of the club. And again, he's got some great guests on, and he will stand outside, you know, the stadium, and he will get fans on. And if you want to be part of that, go and check out his channel and have a look for yourself, and then go and check him out. And you know, Matty, again, he will speak to you, and that, you know, that's what it's all about. And you'll see it at the next game. Who's the next game?
It's a while away. It's a month away. It's 10th of March against. Who playing at home again? Is it
Southampton, West Brom? One of the two.
Yeah, it's Southampton. 10th of March. Southampton, I think it is, because I remember after the Man U game, I was thinking, I've got a month wait now until the fan comes. But unless I can get an away game, then I just have to stay patient and look forward to it.
So again, I always encourage to get other YouTubers on my channel, and it's been great to have the Magpie Channel on, and he's absolutely brilliant. I mean, go and check him out at 9 bar. He's outside there after the matches as well. And yeah, don't forget to go along and subscribe to him and you know, help on his adventure. And again, I'm sure you'll appreciate it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And thanks, Matty, for having us on your channel, and also thanks very much for appearing on my channel.
Pleasure, mate. Thanks very much for coming along.
Catch us all later. Peace.
See you later, guys.
Sort of it.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that.
Cheers, man.